Welcome to this lesson on the paired t-test. In statistics, we often need to compare two groups to see if they are different. But what happens when those two groups are related or dependent on each other? That is where the paired t-test comes in. It is a powerful tool for analyzing before and after scenarios or matched pairs. So, what exactly is a paired t-test? Simply put, it is a statistical method used to compare the means of two related groups. We use it to determine if the average difference between two measurements is statistically significant, meaning the difference is likely due to a real effect and not just random chance. You might also hear this called a dependent t-test or a repeated measures t-test. To understand this test, we must understand the difference between independent and dependent samples. Independent samples involve two completely separate groups of people, like comparing men versus women. There is no link between person A in the first group and person B in the second. However, in dependent samples, there is a direct link. This often means measuring the same person twice, like before and after a diet, or using matched pairs, like twins. That link is vital for the math to work. There are two main scenarios where you will use this test. The first and most common is the pre-test post-test design. This is where you measure a subject, apply an intervention, and measure them again. For example, checking blood pressure before and after medication. The second is matched pairs, where you match two different people based on shared characteristics like age or experience and treat them as a single unit. Every statistical test starts with hypotheses. For a paired t-test, our null hypothesis, denoted as H0, states that the mean difference between the pairs is 0. This means there is no change or no effect. The alternative hypothesis, H1, states that the mean difference is not 0, implying that a significant change or difference actually exists. Here is the formula for the paired t-test. It looks a bit complex, but let's break it down. The top part, d-bar, is simply the average of all the differences between your pairs. The bottom part represents the standard error. We take the standard deviation of those differences and divide it by the square root of the sample size. Essentially, we are comparing the average difference against the variation in the data. Before running the test, we must check a few assumptions. First, your dependent variable must be continuous, like weight or time, not categories. Second, the observations between pairs must be independent of each other. Third, the differences themselves should follow a normal distribution, creating a bell curve. And finally, watch out for outliers, as extreme values can heavily skew your results. Let's look at a concrete example. Imagine a weight loss program. We want to know if a new diet works. We weigh 5 subjects before they start the diet, and then again after the program. We have 2 columns of data here, before and after. Importantly, we cannot just compare the average of the first column to the average of the second column independently, because the data comes from the same specific people. The first step in the math is to calculate the difference for each subject. We subtract the before weight from the after weight. For subject 1, 82 minus 85 gives us minus 3. We do this for everyone. This new difference column is what we actually analyze. In this case, the mean difference is -2, suggesting an average weight loss of 2 kilograms. To summarize, use the paired t-test when you have related or dependent groups, typically in a before and after design. Remember that the test focuses entirely on the differences between the pairs, not the raw scores themselves. This makes it a very powerful test because it controls for the natural variation between different people. If the same person gives you 2 numbers, you likely need a paired t-test.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.